Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'll tell you what, since I've been here, I think this past weekend might have been one of the most exciting weekends of basketball here at home, just the way the games went, some big Hardrocker wins and a tight overtime loss on Saturday, but exciting weekend, no doubt. Another one coming up against Shattern State and Regis. So looking forward to it. Thanks for coming out. Subway Hardrocker Luncheon. We'll start with women's basketball. Welcome up head coach Ryan Larsen.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Yeah, good weekend. I want to especially congratulate Coach Henry on 150 wins. That is awesome. Happy for him. I'd say I'm proud to know you, but I don't know if I want to go that far. But great job, men's team. That was great stuff. Way to battle those two games. Had a good weekend. Friday night, I was really impressed with the way we guarded. Colorado Christian. They're as they showed on Saturday when they went up to spearfish and won, they're more than capable of going off, and they certainly did that night. But we held them in check pretty well defensively, which is great. Their guards are very dynamic, coming off their ball screen stuff, and really good at getting to the rim. And our kids did a great job of following a game plan, especially our post players. The way we defend is we like to switch ball screens, and do a number of things after that. But that's tough to ask to do, have your post players get out there and really guard, athletic guards. And our kids did that really well, so we shut down their perimeter game. Gave up a few too many points, I felt, inside at times, but we were willing to give that up rather than let their guards go crazy. But that was a great defensive performance on our part. The other thing I was really impressed with on Friday was, we probably didn't have our best game offensively within our main offense. And for the first time all year, we just kind of went to our secondary offense. We call it runner. And, we scored at will against them defensively with our secondary offense. And so that's a big bright spot for us right there, where we can have some confidence saying, okay, we don't have our best stuff in our motion. We're going to go to our secondary offense. We're going to run that and continue to score baskets. So that was big for us. Number of very good individual performances. Megan Rohr had a great night that night. Taylor Molstad, would you have 24 and 11, something like that? Just an outstanding performance. And 15 of 18 from the free throw line, which is really, really good. And I give our kids a lot of credit, even more so where down the stretch we knew who the hot hand was getting to the free throw line. We continue to get Taylor the ball, and she continue to make shots there. The other thing, another bright spot from that game was, Christian kind of made a couple of runs at times. We missed some free throws to make it interesting. Earlier in the year, I wasn't sure if that was a game we could win because we'd kind of get tightened up. We'd get a little nervous, stuff like that, but we stuck to it. We took some blows, went to the free throw line, and we made plays down the stretch. So that was a good win for us, and a lot of bright spots in that area. So happy for our kids. And again, Colorado Christian's a good team. I fully expect them to win quite a few more games this year. They're talented at a lot of different spots. Saturday, again, very, very pleased with our effort. We came up short a few possessions here or there. A game like that, you can look at so many different possessions in a game, and kind of kick yourself a little bit as far as to what you could do differently. But we had the lead we're up 5 with 4.5 to go, and they had a couple players, number 5 and was it 12 or 21? I'm not quite sure. Remember what her number was. Good players, really good players. We were guarding them, and they made shots, and that's what good teams and good players do. Just came up short. I'm guessing I'm going to get the question. First thing Julie, my wife, asked me when I got home was, did you have a timeout? Yeah, I did have a timeout. Explain myself a little bit there. Yeah, funny situation. At the end of the fourth, so in women's basketball, the new rule last year is end of the fourth quarter, any overtime, under a minute, you can call a timeout and advance the ball to the three-quarter court line and run us out of bounds play. We're under a minute. We get a rebound, and I'm doing my best to call a timeout, absolutely doing my best. And the rule is you can't take more than 2 dribbles and call a timeout and then advance the ball. Well, I'm trying to call a timeout. Our players take more than 2 dribbles, so therefore we have to take the ball out of bounds at the half-court line. Unfortunate situation. The great thing is, though, Heather Rogers, that you'll see in the clips, made a tremendous play to get us in overtime. Absolutely tremendous play. And then in overtime situation, same thing. They make a basket. I am trying to call a timeout. Trying. Sammy is pushing the ball up past half court already, so I don't call a timeout. And I decide to let them play, thinking we could get a shot. But there again, hindsight, I should have called a timeout. There's no doubt about it. But, just like the players, we live and learn too. We won't make that mistake again. I would love to have drawn something up and try to get a shot off. Disappointing we did not get a shot off. I'll take all the blame for that. But besides all that, Colorado Mines played in the national tournament last year. Very good team. And we had plenty of chances to get a win on our home court against them. Just like every time up here we lose a game, learning experience. We will get better from it. And we watched quite a bit of that film yesterday, and just the smallest details that we can clean up will help us win those games from here on out. So, good weekend. Excited about this coming weekend coming up. Had a nice sharp workout yesterday. Got a chance to watch a lot of film. A couple good days of practice coming up. Shadron's coming in Friday night. They're scary. They beat Colorado Christian at home. They've had some rough games, but teams are just kind of trying to get their identity right now, including ourselves. But they're more than capable of beating anybody on any given night. So we obviously got to bring our A game. They got a couple of really good dynamic guards that can score it in all three phases of shooting from the arc, getting to the rim, stuff like that. But right now we just got to be concerned about ourselves and getting better. And then Saturday, Regis, a very good team coming in again. A couple Division I transfers on their team. Without looking too far ahead, Saturday is going to be a really good challenge for us. But if we just clean some things up, rebounding wise, taking care of the basketball, hopefully a few more jumpers go in, man, I really like our chances this coming weekend. It'll be great. If we can get 2 more at home this weekend, we'll be 500 in the league, and then that second half of the year, really anything can happen. So if we can get 2, I like the situation that we're sitting in. That's for sure. We got some clips, Brad, then I'll field some questions, and we got a guest here today. Taylor is the one player that is done with finals, so lucky her. So she was able to join us today. All right, this is Friday's game. Really nice post feed there by Heather. And a great kick out by Heather for a 3. Really nice play there. Good job, Heather, getting her feet and knocking that shot down. This is just within our half-court motion here. Very nice take by Krista. This is something that we've been working hard on with our guards is, just getting to the rim a little bit more off those ball screens and having a bit more of a scoring presence from the perimeter there. And a really nice take by Anna. Anna's really been a bright spot for us as a freshman there. She's got all kinds of skills and tools that, very crafty around the basket, but yet skilled enough to put on the floor and attack. And there's a tremendous, this is our secondary offense right there. Tremendous pass by Peyton to Taylor down there for a nice little easy basket. Sammy Stefik, a very dangerous weapon from the arc. That was a big shot right there. That was kind of the dagger there, I felt. We were pretty comfortable from here on out after that 3. And a nice defensive play, and there's the nail in the coffin right there. Great defensive play and leak out for Peyton there. Here we go against Mines. Really nice inbounds play by Peyton. Great post feed. Really nice jump hook by Megan right there. Great execution on out of bounds play. That Hump is really shooting it right now. Anytime someone's shooting 40% over the arc, we're going to give her the green light. And even though she's guarded, she's feeling it. You shoot that thing, girl. Good job. And again, Coop came in the game ready. She didn't play on Friday night. Krista makes a nice attack there and kick out to Cooper. Good, nice. Cooper's a great weapon for us. And then, Missy, we need her doing that right there more. I had a conversation with Miss. I said, maybe it's time for you to be a little bit more selfish with the basketball and look to score a little bit more. And here's the play right here. We run a set to try to get Megan post touch, and then Heather just takes it into her own hands, and great play. Great just court awareness by Heather there, knowing the time and situation and getting to the rim. Here we are in overtime. Again, Hump gets her feet, knocks it down. Big shot right there to cut it back to 2, and we're still back in this thing. So that was, Hump had 2 really good threes in overtime there. She hits another one there to give us the lead. We did have the lead twice in overtime. We're up once. That's something we just got to get better at. Okay, even if you look at Friday, we were up 17, I believe, at one point in the third quarter, and we just, at some point, you got to continue to stretch it and stretch it and stretch it and not let a team back into it. Kind of been I would say, fatal flaw of ours this year, but we've given up three games now we've lost where we've had, leads that we just have to hang on to. And that's becoming a better team. And that's what good teams do. You continue to work on your flaws and continue to get better at what you do well, and we will do that. That's for sure. No problem there. Again, we got Taylor here. Before I bring her up, any questions for me? I answered the timeout situation, so probably took a few of your questions away.
In the overtime,
yeah.
They don't reset the foul. They do reset the foul. They don't reset the team foul. How does that work?
They do reset them.
They didn't on the scoreboard.
They didn't?
But it should have been back, but there wasn't a double bonus thing going on.
To my knowledge, yeah. Did they shoot? Did we shoot free throws?
I don't know. Tom and I were talking about it on the radio. I thought they would reset like they do after every.
Wow, I'm going to go look at my manual. I thought we did reset, but they didn't. I remember looking at it now. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't. That's a great question. Maybe I'm wrong. I very well could be. Well, I've played enough overtime games in the last 2 years. I should definitely know that rule. That's for sure. You would think. Yeah, that's kind of common knowledge. But okay, good question. Give me something to think about and do here this afternoon before practice. So research that. Well, Jason, yeah, he's got a lot to talk about, so I could definitely come back up. That's for sure. If I'm Jason right now, I'm just holding court. That's for sure. All right, good special guest here today, Taylor Molstad, sophomore for us, healthy now, playing really well. Again, had just a tremendous game on Friday. 24 points, 11 rebounds. We give Taylor the green light to crash the offensive glass, and that's something that she really enjoys doing. And I think about 4 or 5 of her rebounds on Friday were on the offensive glass. But yeah, just kind of like Miss, one thing that we've really been encouraging Taylor to do this year, be more aggressive. All right, be more aggressive, and she was definitely the aggressor on Friday, and it showed up in the box score. But Taylor Molstad.
Hi, I'm Taylor Molstad, sophomore, majoring in interdisciplinary sciences for pre-physical therapy. Our team this year is just, we have such a good connection between us all. We always have a great time when we're together, and never a dull moment between us on the bus, that's for sure. Our games this past weekend, we were definitely excited about our win on Friday. It's a big one for us. I felt like we made big strides in some of our offensive movements, and so that was good. On Saturday, tough loss for us. We were pretty excited that we stayed with them for sure because we got killed last year, so that was a big step for us that we think. This weekend we play Shadron first. Another good game for us. They played us hard last year. Lost by 1 point? Or won by 1 point. Yeah. So that'll be a fun game. Definitely excited for that one. Then Regis is another good one where we lost both last year.
Yeah, that was the game here was one of our 4 games that we lost now to rebounds.
Yeah, there you go. Definitely be looking for that one. I think our offense this year is we're just flowing so much better. We have such good connections, and we're definitely scoring through many different people. I mean, one person may have a good night one night, and then another person will come back the next night and pick up the points that someone's not making or something like that. But it's definitely been fun this year to be playing as a whole team, and it's a good time. Any questions?
So you were injured early. You have a sprain?
I had kind of the same injury I had last year. at the end I had it's like a hip flexor. It's like snapping hip, so my muscle like snaps over. It's like gets irritated, but I think we figured out that I just had to go into the chiropractor and get my hips realigned, and it's been good ever since. So that's good. I think I did well. Haven't really got the grades back yet. Not that I know of. I haven't gotten emails, so just waiting on that.
What made you choose school night?
I like the idea of being at home. Definitely, it's always fun to be able to go home on the weekends and see your family. I also just I like challenging myself, so I liked coming to the school thinking that it's a hard school and a lot of people don't come here for that reason, so I just wanted to challenge myself. No, I like Stevens. Still have to go and watch my sister some, so gotta show my face. Any others? Thank you.
All right, speaking of finals, Colorado Mines said they had finals too and stuff like that. That's what I heard. But so did our guys and picked up a big victory. So welcome up head coach Jason Henry.
Yeah, it was a great weekend for us. Thanks again for coming out for some subs. Great Subway lunch again that Jamall will have the seconds for everybody since he loves cheese so much. So, but yeah, it was a great weekend for us. A lot of things that happened prior to going into the weekend, obviously with finals, obviously with our guys. Every year we try something different as far as what to do, how much to practice, do we give them a day off, those kind of things. Now, and that was prior to the last 3 years, I believe. Our finals actually start on a Thursday, Friday, and then we don't have class on that Wednesday. So we've done a little bit different and been very successful the last couple of years. And I think a lot of it's just our guys, honestly. We use that as an excuse sometimes as far as finals go, and our guys aren't about excuses. We had enough things happen to us last year, and we just kept playing through it. This year, hey, we're going in, and yeah, they're worried about their classes. Not just they're worried because they got a D, and if they don't pass the final, they're going to get an F. They're worried because they have a chance to get an A, and they might have a B right now, so they want to do good in their finals. Now, that's pretty impressive to me that they care so much that it's not good enough for them in the classroom to just get a C. If they have a chance to get a B, they want to study that much more, and away we go. Most of them. Right, Jamall and Marco. Most of them they want to get that higher one, but no. So it is a challenge for us. But our guys had a great week of practice, especially on that Monday. I know we talked about that when we were at B-Dubs. That we had a great Monday practice. Tuesday, good individuals. Wednesday wasn't very good. Thursday wasn't very good, and you could kind of see it in their eyes. But like I said, they came ready to go this weekend to play two teams that were basically first in the conference. They were 2-0. One of them's 3-1 right now, and then obviously one other one being Colorado Mines. So we knew we had our hands full going into this weekend. But talk about the things that happened prior to getting to the game, and a lot of that stuff. I just saw on Facebook again the same thing is they have that big iceberg. I don't know if anybody's on Facebook. It's a new social media thing that we have around here, but yeah, Brad's on it once in a while. But no, there's this picture of this big iceberg, and it's got success on the top, and that's what's peeking through the water. And then underneath is this big, huge, body of ice and that kind of thing. And it says all the things that happen too that people don't see. And that's our guys right now is the things that people don't see. It's great to come out there and watch them play and have a phenomenal weekend and do the things right. But our scouts this year have just been absolutely incredible as far as the guys following what they're supposed to do. We talked about that after the University of Mary game that we won, a big road game for us. They're doing very well in their conference. And they just followed the scout and did that again this weekend. But then the people that prepare you for those games, the red shirts, the guys that don't play a lot of minutes, that it's hard. We're all competitive and that kind of stuff. But I think it was to Tom on the radio, and we talked about Carlos, a freshman point guard that's redshirting, Wilford, another 6'4" freshman. guard. And when we're playing Colorado Christian, they have two guys that are, one, they're second and third in the conference, third and fourth in scoring, but they really attack in the transition. And those two guys just simulated them doing that, and that was a big reason why we won that game. The simulation during practices prior to, but then the simple fact we didn't give up a lot of transition buckets. And I think we had 4 points, maybe 2 points, and that's where they get, I wouldn't say a third of their points, but maybe a fifth of their points in transition. And we took that away, and that's why we had a double-digit win. Obviously, we knew we had to score. We've done a great job. We got 2 young men shooting the ball very well that are with us today. A couple other guys knocking down shots. Obviously, our insides been very effective with Connor and a couple guys coming off the bench too. But I thought that was a huge part of that first victory against Colorado Christian, is just the simple fact that the guys in practice did a great job to get our guys that play all the minutes prepared for that. The second night, obviously, and I feel bad when the women win plenty, or win. When they lose, I feel bad when they win sometimes too. I don't know. I feel bad for Ryan. No, but when they lose, but that was a tough one because I know for our school, our program especially, but I know all the programs around here, and I thought we finally got over the hump because when we were down there last year, both of us did. We got our butts kicked, and they came out and played well and had a 5-point lead or whatever it was, 4-point lead or right there when I went down, and I'm like, okay, we got a chance, and I was excited as can be, and then went into overtime, and long story long is don't end up winning. And I thought, hey, this is finally our chance. I didn't know how we were going to do, but beat, Colorado School Mines. And they didn't get it done. We came out and our guys were ready to go. I think we pretty much, other than maybe 2 or 3 minutes, we had the lead the whole game, took it at them, knocked down shots, got the stops that we needed, had another great defensive effort. And like I said, I was very proud of our scout on it, or following the scout, not the actual scout, but the follow the scout, of knowing a guy turns to his shoulder after he bounces it twice, and boom, we were there. Or knowing this guard can do this and this guy do that. And every guy that came in, they did that. And that's a huge step for us that we haven't had the last few years and that kind of thing. And that's definitely a way for our program to keep moving forward. So great win for us. To beat a top 20 team on our home floor was awesome. To have another home win was great again. But gall darn it, to beat Colorado School Mines for a bunch of other reasons that we talked about last weekend as well, with some recruiting. They're always a good team, Denver area, all those kind of things where we're going against different kids to get them up here and that kind of thing was just a big victory for us, and probably one of the bigger ones that I've ever had being here. I know we went to national tournament, with Coach Welsh and stuff, and they had some big wins. We beat BH when they were number 2 in the country. We went up to Jamestown, beat them to go into the championship game. Things that I really remember being super excited into the locker room, but I don't know, was I excited this last time going in there? I think I almost tore my ACL dancing. So, it was pretty exciting, and hopefully we can have some more of that. But we knew coming in on Monday, we have to get better. We got 2 more games this weekend. We have to make sure that that's not the highlight of our season. We want to get into the playoffs, get into the conference tournament, and see what happens after that. But that's a step. That's part of the process. You got to win those home games, no matter who you're playing. And we took care of business. Now we got 2 more. We got a team. Beat UCCS last weekend that we've already lost to in Colorado State. We hammered them pretty good last year at our place. It sounds awfully familiar as the Colorado Mines game did for us last weekend. So our guys need to be ready on that Friday night with Chadron State. They have trouble scoring right now, but when the ball goes in the hole for them, they're a very, very good team. And then the second night is a very good Regis team. Only have a couple losses on the year. Got some big-time shooters. Got a couple good post guys. They beat us twice last year as well. Same with the women. And we're gonna have our hands full. And I want to go into Christmas break on a high. So our guys are excited for that. Tomorrow's our last day of finals. We get to really concentrate on them Thursday and Friday and be ready to go and prepared for the weekend. So excited where we're at right now. We're playing pretty well. We've played basically the last five of the 6 halves. The second half at Colorado Springs wasn't real great, but prior to that, and then these last couple games, we played well on both ends of the floor. So pretty excited about where we're at, but we got to finish out the so-called semester until Christmas break strong. Okay, questions for me? Yep, we'll want to do that first, and we can. Okay. Brad says we're going to do this first, so he's my second wife, so I listen to whatever he says. Okay, got a bunch of different guys on here for guys that are doing some things for us. Starting out with Connor. Heading to the baseline, he's done a good job of doing some more face-up this game. That's one of the things that we've talked a lot about, getting him the ball. Here he is again, more facing up, being able to penetrate. They do come in double. He's able to kick out to a guy that was shooting 60%, 50% from the three-point line, and Marco, that we'll talk a little bit about here in a second. But if you can find a guy like that spotting up, he's not going to miss very often. And Connor's going to take some double teams. But we put him in a little different position this weekend. Here once again, catching it off the block a little bit, able to find Tyler Schoening for just a quick dump down. In the basket as well. So a lot of that stuff was, a little bit more game plan that we're going to have to do going in with Connor, just getting him touches in different spots. And a kid like Jake, and I've heard more comments about him than I have with anybody, in the last number of years, but he makes you look pretty smart being able to have a guy coming out there and knocking down those kind of shots. And Troy Whitell, he's a guy that gets to the basket as good as anybody in the country, not just on our team. It's just incredible, his first step. So he's usually going to the basket, knock down a three, but he's also shooting over 75%, almost 80% from the free throw line. There's another prayer at the end of the shot clock that we needed by JT, trying to draw the foul, leaning into him, whatever he's doing there. But yeah, back to Troy too. He shot like 40%, 35%, something like that last year from the free throw line. He did a great job in the offseason. End of the half here too. This is a big shot. All right, that's a big shot against Mines. They went to a zone. We're with about whatever it was, 8 seconds left after the ball went out, and he was just able to make a play. Made a big block right there. I think he's got a couple block and a half a game. I think he's in the top 6 or 7 in blocks as well. But this is just a hustle play. When this happened, I kind of sat back and go, I know we were up 14, but even if the game was tied at that point, I knew we were going to win. When those guys, we had 2 guys diving on the floor, making a play, coming down, doing some good things, and just an incredibly athletic move by Brian here. Goes baseline, takes off from the other side of the basket, and goes up and finishes. Brian hasn't been doing great on the offensive side, but you can see what he can do. He's capable of doing. Hit a big 3 at the end of the game against Colorado Mines after not making a couple. But if other guys can do it when we're shooting 28% and we're a 3-point shooting team, and other guys and we're playing the way we are, when we can get guys like Brian, to start knocking down shots and things, obviously we're very excited about that part because we got other guys really stepping up their game too right now. So, any quick questions before I get Marco and JT up here? Yep. Oh, you're closer than the rest of us. Well, they were over at my house the other night, and we just played one-on-one for a while. So they, our guys, and there's an article in the paper today with Connor, if you get a chance to read it, but he's exactly right. I mean, and these guys spend so much time. They weren't overly excited about what happened last year. I mean, Marco's dinged up last year, and you talk about your heart going in your stomach and stuff. Is when he went down from about 7 feet up, it felt like, and he fell, and he landed on his hip and his elbow, and I just kind of was like, oh my gosh, here we go, and took my deep breath, and he got up, and he's a tough kid, but he wasn't exactly just drinking wine and eating pizza back in Italy last summer. I'm sure he was did some other things, and they work on their game. And a big part of that was Connor called it a chip on your shoulder, or and I don't even know if it's that. It's just we want to prove to ourselves and to everybody out there that we got some talent. We got some talented kids. We know we can win some games. We know we can compete better than we were able to compete last year, and they took advantage of that in the summer. I did a great job. JT stayed around here, got an internship in town. He was here with Connor, here with Joe, but he was coming off of a major injury. He only played in 8-9 games last year, but in the gym basically every day. I never saw him here because I could never look through and see him in the gym, but that's illegal, I guess. So, but yeah, I always saw him wander around. I assumed he was in the gym, doing some different things and worked hard, So it's a tribute to those guys. We can't do a lot at the D2 level with working them out and doing individual things. It's just those guys, they got a mission, and we're on a mission right now to make sure we are successful in the conference and have a chance to compete with teams in night in and night out. So, what else? Great question. No, fouls do not reset in overtime. Continuations, yep. I don't know I've seen enough of those games too, and we're always standing out there. I can't believe they would reset, honestly. I don't know why they would with only 5 minutes, but then you're shooting double bonus, which is the craziest rule in the world for women's basketball. But anything else for me? All right, let's get these. Okay.
What exactly did Troy do with the big change in free throw shooting? It's like a world.
Honest to goodness, and I don't know if he'll watch this. I know his mom will, but it's just a confidence thing with him. He was one of the. He scored 30 points a game or a couple different games for us as a true freshman, and a lot of times when he can knock down shots. It's a little bit different than how it was last year. But when Zell in our program, he couldn't make a shot to save his life last year, and I don't know if he's doing anything different other than seeing the ball go through the hole. And Troy, obviously, he's out in the gym. He's back home working on his free throws, but he did that last year too. But I think it was just a mental thing with him, as much as anything. Obviously, he's fixed some stuff as far as not so much of that hitch that he has, and more of a fluent, so to speak, follow through. But he's got a lot of arch on it now, and some of those kind of things. But honestly, and same with scoring. JT yesterday in practice was how JT was the game before he got hurt last week, which I giggled from the gym to my office going, oh my gosh, JT's back. And it's been less than a year. It's been less than a year. Joe Newkirk, it's been less than a year with a ACL injury. So some of these guys are just getting back, and yeah, I'm definitely getting excited. But JT's one of them that I'm getting excited about as well. So, okay. I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear or not, but yeah, actually he was at my house as well. We went through the one-on-one, and we got him doing that. But we did everything last year for him, just so he wasn't thinking. I had him shooting one-handed shots last year. I don't know if you remember that. Had nothing to do. I shouldn't say that. It had something to do with his hitch. He was actually more fluent when he did it. But honestly, he was more thinking of that and thinking about people looking at him saying, hey, you're shooting one-handed, than worrying about missing. I had a kid when I coached back up in Minot State, one of my first years of coaching. I'm like, what in the world do you think about when you go up to the free throw line? I'm like, you're a good shooter, you're this, you're that. And he goes, all I think about is just please don't airball. And I'm like, seriously, you're a college athlete and that's what you're thinking about? Well, of course you're not going to make the shot. So it's as mental as anything, and that focus that you have with the free throws. So what else? Anything else? I don't know. I had somebody text me it and said, Coach, is there any way I saw you, whatever. And then, I was dancing, brother. Good answer. Thank you. All right, let's get these two guys up here. Great young man, been in our program now for 2 and 3 years, both transferred in to us, different situations that they came from with obviously being overseas. They can talk a little bit about that. But couldn't be more happy to have them both in our program. Like I said, JT came here 3 years ago, redshirted when we found out that we were going to be in a conference. We could have really used him that year. Had a great redshirt year every day in practice. He's our best player by far, but we knew we were going to have 2 years if we redshirted him into the conference. Sure enough, last year, was it 9 games? Must have been 9 games in. The game before he got hurt at practice, but the game before I think he had 24, 25 points in the second half. And Connor had gone down the game before. We knew we had to have somebody step up, and he really stepped up his game for a game. So we wish we would have had him last year, especially after redshirting him for a year. But like I said, we still haven't seen what Jamall can do, and I'm very excited about that. Same thing with Marco. First semester, coming in as a freshman, coming in as a transfer, doesn't matter. It's a struggle, academic-wise, on the court-wise, that kind of thing. really had an incredible second half of the year. That's why we ended up winning a few games at the end. Started out a little bit slow this year again, and now we're kind of getting into our stride with Marco as well. Obviously can knock down shots. Obviously he's just a tough matchup around the basket and that kind of thing too. But and a big reason why, honestly, we lost the UCCS game, going back and look at it, is 100% on me. I get done and you're within the 40 minutes and those kind of things, and I get done and he's got 2 shots. I mean, how do we have a guy like Marco getting 2 shots in a game? Well, when we're struggling, we got to find a way for him to get the ball, and we did that this weekend, and he took advantage of it. So we'll get these 2 guys up. You can drill them plenty, and they can tell you all kinds of secrets, I'm sure. So Jamall and Marco.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jamall Taylor from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, senior industrial engineering major.
And I'm Marco Pascolo from Italy, double E, and senior. Yep.
All right, I'll start first by touching on our games on Friday versus Colorado Christian. I feel like we played well. It was a good bounce-back win for us, especially after we dropped that win at Springs that we all know we should have won, just speaking. But, yeah, we really followed the scout. Our plan was to limit those guys in transition, which we did. As Coach said, our freshmen really helped us out in our practices and walkthroughs and all of that stuff. And we made shots and we got the win. And you want to touch on Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday definitely a big win. It's like a big accomplishment for us, but yeah, we've been working hard all week and since the beginning of the year. And finally we proved this weekend that we can do the stuff we've been working on and we can compete at a high level because Mainz is like top 20 team in the country. So we can compete with anybody. At least we proved to do that at home, and that's a big thing. Now we have to carry that over to next weekend, and we're just thinking about Chadron first, and then go game by game, and then we will think about Regis on Saturday morning, coming back in the gym, and yeah. So now our main focus for now is getting ready for Chadron, and do whatever we can to get it up that day. Yeah, other few things I can say, like it feels like the game on Saturday especially, it felt like great to be part of this team. It was like maybe the ball was not going in as much because we didn't shoot extremely well, honestly. But seeing like guys, like my teammates, like diving on the floor, getting all those 50-50 balls were ours. And that was like something like that makes you like think that you can do pretty good things when you do that. So that's all you need to do. Like when a team has like toughness, you are aggressive, and sure we can still fix like many technical errors we do. There is plenty of room to improve there, as we see like we saw yesterday in film. There is like that defensive side, offensive side, but when you do like there's like small things like diving on a loose ball, or I don't know, like just showing like being aggressive, showing toughness. That's like something that makes you feel good about it. Yeah.
I think we'll be fine as the year goes on. I feel like we're starting to hit our stride now as a team, and we're really starting to bond and mesh together like we should. Like I said, we have a lot of upperclassmen. As everybody knows, we have 6 seniors this year. And I mean, our freshmen, they're growing up too. Although they're red shirt, and they're starting to get it. That, like Coach said, they were big for us this weekend. Y'all didn't see it, but like I really attribute a lot to them too. They were big for us in the scout and everything, and we were just coming together. And I feel like once we want to end this weekend with 2 wins and get a lot of confidence, and I feel like we'll be all right going forward.
Questions for you guys? Marco, can you tell me what impresses you most about Jamall's play? And Jamall, would you tell me what impresses you about Marco's play?
Okay, sure. So what impresses me about Jamall, even like watching film yesterday, for example, he does like maybe things that are not too like, how to say, he does small things that are always right. So it does like the right thing at the right moment, and he knows how to carry the team, like doing that. So that's also like the Jamall we need. Yeah.
what impressed me most about Marco, everybody knows Marco is a shooter and he can shoot the ball and all that stuff, but what people don't know is he has this one move. It's this spin move. We call it the Marco spin. When you get people on the baseline and he like spins off and does like some little European finish. I don't know what it is, but I like it. and really Marco's, he's just, you know, he doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. You know, he's pretty steady. It doesn't matter if Marco shoots 20 times or Marco shoots 6 times. He's Marco. You know what you can get from Marco. When Marco's open, you can pass to Marco, and more times than not, he's going to make the shot. And he helps me look good, so. He's my man.
What are your plans for when you get out of school?
My plans for when I get out of school? Well, get my degree, of course. As far as I plan on graduating fall of next year. Hope everybody can be there. That's my goal. That's my main goal, first off. And second, I mean, if I can play basketball past this point, I would love to, of course. I mean, I'll play for free, for pennies, whatever. Basketball is what I love to do. But of course, if not, you know, I mean, I would love to go work in the field and hopefully eventually be a plant manager.
For me, I'm thinking about Chadron for the weekend. And yeah. No, it's like, let's see, my plans for the future, I honestly don't know yet. I just know that I want to be ready for whatever it comes. For example, I didn't plan to come here to School of Mines. I was working and get ready for it, and when I got an opportunity, I seized it. So my plan, I would say, is like getting ready for whatever comes next. Yeah.
Wine and pizza?
Also, yeah. With moderation.
How about that bank stretch at 3.5?
I called it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else for these guys? Thanks, man.
Speaking about thinking of what's next, is Marco going to the class today? Is he one of the guys? Maybe, I don't know. But okay. Well, that's what he's thinking about then. First grade class you got to speak in front of is a lot harder than these guys. I keep on saying that, okay? Thanks, guys. Remember, this weekend, December 16th, Chadron State, 5:30, 7:30, and then Saturday, bring the kids out. Santa's going to be here, and it is a really good Santa Claus, I will tell you. So bring the kids on Saturday, 3:30, 5:30 for Regis. Thanks to Subway. Have a great week. We'll see you this weekend.